Good afternoon, Fin fans, and welcome back to another episode of AT Fins News. In this episode, we're going to be looking at reasons why Tua can become the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So, one of the big reasons that I believe Tua can become the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback, it all goes really back to health for me. I feel that it's going to be his third year into this league. Coming into this league, he wasn't right at all. We could see it. Even though they say he was football ready or healthy enough to play, you can just look at his throwing motion, guys. If you took a side by side video of Tua in Alabama throwing the football and the way his throwing motion was compared to since he's been a Miami Dolphin, you could see there is something either wrong or why would he have changed his throwing motion when all the experts were saying that he had one of the most beautiful throwing motions in all of college football. So why just change all that up going to the NFL, especially when it was working at a high level in Alabama? And I know a lot of people say, well, in Alabama, it's easy because you have the best of the best. You have the best linemen. You have the best running backs. You have the best receivers, which is true, but that does not mean that he's going to change his throwing motion from Alabama to the NFL just because it was easy in Alabama, right? I mean, you could see it physically. He might have been good enough to play in NFL games, but he wasn't fully healthy, and we can all see that. I think it got to him mentally as well, not just physically. He started realizing he wasn't the same player. He couldn't do the same things he did in college, so he was trying to overcorrect his throwing motion to get the same velocity on his balls instead of just throwing all arm. He was trying to get some more behind his throws, and you can see that in it. It messed up his throwing motion, in my opinion. So I believe now that he's going into his third year into this league, third year from that catastrophic hip injury. And a lot of you don't know, it's the same hip injury that Bo Jackson ended his NFL career on. So it's not just a little injury, guys. It's going to take time. And I bet you if you ask Tua right now, this is probably the best he's felt since the hip injury. And I believe you can see it just in his play on even in OTAs. I mean, like I said in my previous videos, we've never, as since Tua's been in this league and been on the Miami Dolphins, it doesn't matter OTAs, training camp, mini camps. We've never heard what's coming out of camp now from the Miami Dolphins organization. We've never heard, man, Tua's looking really nice. His velocity is getting a lot better on crossing routes. He's having way better touch. He's not overthrowing receivers in crossing routes. And I know it's just OTAs. They're just in T-shirts and basketball shorts, but we've never heard this before. So that has to give us, as Dolphin fans, confidence going forward that he could be our guy. I'm not saying he is yet. We have to wait until he plays games in his third year and he can perform. But I mean, it's all positives coming out of the Miami Dolphins organization. And when's the last time we heard that coming out of our organization about a quarterback? Because remember, last year we weren't even talking about Tua. We were talking about players coming to replace Tua. So obviously the organization didn't believe in Tua. And that actually leads me to the next point on why Tua can become our franchise quarterback. The first two years in this league, guys, let's be honest, Brian Flores, no disrespect to him, I thought he was a good coach. I was kind of shocked that he got fired when he did. But it's starting to make sense now. He's a defensive-minded coach, guys, and he's excellent on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not taking anything away from that, but he never had any grasp of the offense. Even last year when we were struggling and I was making videos and saying I loved Brian Flores as a defensive-minded coach or a defensive-minded guy, but the way to fix this offense is we needed someone to have grasp on offense, know offense, and get this offense out of the slump they were in. And having Brian Flores as the defensive-minded coach, he never fully grasped the offense and how to fix the issue. All he was doing was he was firing offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator and just making things harder for Tua to succeed, because every time you fire an offensive coordinator, you're going to have to learn a new playbook. It could be similar, but there's still new terminology. So they kept on and on just firing the offensive coordinator instead of getting hands-on with it. And then not only that, you had a defensive-minded coach in Brian Flores that really fully never backed to, and we've seen that countless times. The reports that came out with the arguments that Flores and Tua had, and what Flores really thought of Tua. And I'm not gonna have to. I don't really want to have to get into all of those details. You guys can look it up if you don't believe me, or you think I'm saying something false. There's multiple reports on it. Not only our head coach not believing in Tua, our pick at 5th overall to become our guy, but our GM. Who knows if Chris Greer's a Tua believer? I don't think Chris Greer's a Tua believer, because I think the book is already out in Chris Greer's mind, and I really believe that's why our organization keeps saying Mike McDaniel believes that he can work with Tua. They're throwing Mike McDaniel under the bus of, just in case this ship doesn't sail properly and everything falls off the wagon, they're going to use Mike McDaniel as a scapegoat, because what did they say at the very beginning? They're going to let the head coach of this team decide Tua's fate. And because Mike McDaniel backed Tua and saying he can be a successful quarterback in this league, I believe that's why Chris Greer's our head coach. We're going to go with what our head coach says. We believe in him as an offensive mind, and if he believes he can fix Tua, then our head coach is behind Tua, so we're behind Tua. That is the only true reason Chris Greer is behind Tua right now. So I believe, because we had a head coach that was a defensive-minded guy that never had grasp of the offense and didn't fully back Tua, as well as our GM. I mean, guys, it's already hard enough in this league to make it. I mean, we know the NFL is one of the hardest team sports, and I mean, anywhere, right? And to have leaders in your organization not even believing in you and not giving you that confidence coming in as a rookie to succeed, it's going to make it that much harder to be a successful quarterback in this league, because we all know it's one of the hardest positions to play in all of sports. And when you don't have leadership, when you're coming in as a young kid coming off a major injury where you don't feel as confident right now, and you're going into an environment where these guys don't even have your back or really wanted you here, it's gonna kill everything you've worked your entire life for, because you're gonna feel that you're not good enough for this organization. When honestly, I mean, even though I know he's had 2 lackluster years. They weren't great. They were mediocre at best. I mean, he was put in a tough situation, playing earlier than anyone thought he should have been playing, because we all know he wasn't healthy. He might have been cleared for football activities, but he wasn't healthy to play in the NFL as a quarterback. He's had 2 mediocre years, but now that we actually have a coach that is giving him support every step of the way, giving Tua that confidence. Tua, you can just see he's getting that confidence back in OTAs this year. That's why we have defensive players raving about Tua, going to Chris Greer and said, man, I can't believe how this offense is evolving and Tua's playing. And I know it's just OTAs, but we haven't seen this type of performance from Tua. It's because we finally got a coaching staff that's saying all the right things to Tua to allow Tua to regain that confidence, because it's physical. For Tua, it is physical, right? But it was also mental, and you can tell it was mental. You can just see it in his his post game conferences with the media, and even before, like midweek when he had press conferences. He just didn't look like that same guy that was having fun on the football field like he did in Alabama. And you're starting to see that sparkle in his eye back, and who knows, this could be his breakout year this year, and he can cement himself as the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback. Who knows, maybe he just needed a head coach that truly believed in him, and a head coach that had a grasp of an offense that can help Tua develop, not just have a defensive-minded coach that didn't know how to develop a quarterback. Now we have a coach that we're hoping that can give him that confidence back, that Tua believes in himself again, that he is a starting quarterback in this league, and he's going to be able to help groom Tua because he actually knows the offense. He knows offense. He's an offensive guru. That's what everyone around him says. He's a genius of a mind on the offense. So, I mean, who knows? For Tua, that could be a blessing in disguise now that they finally got a guy like this that truly believes in him, and that's all he needed to be a top 10 quarterback in this league. And I mean, if you're asking me if Tua this year is anywhere from 10 to 12 in the QB rankings throughout the year, and he leads the Dolphins, and he was vital in a few games to get them to the playoffs and win a game or two, I mean, there's no question in my mind Tua's our franchise quarterback, and I don't think there'd be a question in anyone's mind that he wouldn't be our franchise quarterback. I mean, if people still had doubts on that, I mean, at that point they just didn't want Tua here to begin with or to succeed. Because I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not one of those guys that are all like, Tua's our franchise quarterback right now. Like, I'm not one of those guys that he has to prove it. And it's all going to come to a head this year, depending on how he plays. But with what I'm saying about him coming back from his injury, him actually having support from the coaching staff, full support, not half support, like what he said last year in his interview. What did he say? I don't feel like I'm not wanted. I mean, it was just such a weird year for him. I believe it played with his mind. He's finally going to be free in his mind, knowing that the people around him actually believe in him and want him to be a successful quarterback in this league. And him being healthy from his hip, maybe it's just a perfect storm for him to have one of those Josh Allen third years. I'm not saying he's going to be a Josh Allen, guys. I'm just saying a type of leap from his second to third year like a Josh Allen did. Because the first 2 years in the league, people even in Buffalo were calling Josh Allen a bust, and they wanted him gone, and they couldn't believe why the Bills organization drafted a guy from Wyoming, and he's obviously not going to turn out to be anything good because how he performed the first 2 years, and then he just took a huge step in year 3. So maybe Tua can take one of those steps. Again, not saying he's going to be Josh Allen. Josh Allen's more physically talented than Tua. We all know that, but just taking that type of jump, we would all love to see that. I mean, even Tua in those first 2 years has never even had an offensive line like we have now, guys. I mean, I know we're like one or two pieces missing. I would love, like I said, J.C. Treader, or just bring in one or two guys as depth pieces, because if one guy goes down, we don't want the whole ship to sink, right? So our offensive line is fixed now, guys. I mean, it's not like when he came into the league where he had the worst rated line. He's going to have some time to throw. He's going to have some time to read the defenses and not have to throw the ball out in 1 second so he wouldn't get crushed. So just him having that offensive line, Mike McDaniel bringing in that line, knowing Tua's going to need a line to grow in this league. We got the line fixed for the most part, minus one or two more pieces. We got running backs now. We got a plethora of running backs where we really, it's going to be by committee, but any given week, one of the guys can go over 100 easily with speed at that position. When Tua first came in this league, he had really no weapons minus Devontae Parker when he was healthy and Mike Gesicki at times. But now he has Waddle for his second year. We bring in a guy like Tyreek Hill, one of the most dynamic players in the NFL. Then we get Cedric Wilson, that I'm going to tell you guys right now, he might be one of the best kept secrets the Dolphins have, because that guy, when given the opportunity, can make plays, and as a speedster, he gets yak. He does everything that Mike McDaniel's system wants and needs in a player, so watch out for him. This is going to be the closest thing Tua's ever had to an Alabama-type roster. We've been talking about it in the last couple videos. This is one of the most complete rosters the Miami Dolphins have had in the last 20 plus years, and So there's no more excuses, guys. This is Tua's year to show he's our franchise quarterback. I've just laid out a few different reasons on why he's going to be our franchise quarterback. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to starting week 1 on September 11th against the Patriots. We're going to have to see, and Tua's going to have to prove to the world why he's the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback. And once he starts balling, I mean, the sky's the limit for the kid. I mean, he's well liked in the locker room. It's just the only thing that was kind of hindering him was obviously his play on the field, and some players feeling like he's not really helping the team win. He's just along for the ride, kind of. But I'm telling you right now, this year he's going to give his best effort to show everyone in the national media, in this same fan base that is divided on Tua, he's going to prove why he's the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about the reasons why Tua can be our franchise quarterback moving forward. He's still going to have to prove it on the field, like I said, guys. It's not like I'm handing him our franchise because, like I said, as of right now, I'm not even saying he's our franchise quarterback. But I believe with all the steps the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel gave him and put in place, and how healthy he's feeling at the moment, I mean, all signs are pointing up for the kid, and I wish him nothing but the best this year. And I mean, hope he leads us to the playoffs, man. But other than that, guys, I just want to say thank you to every one of y'all. I love each and every one of you guys. I'll be back probably it's either going to be Wednesday or Friday, depending on what's going on and how my schedule looks. But like I said, thanks for the continued support, guys. Please smash that like button if you're new to the channel. If you guys can hit that subscribe button just so we can help this channel grow organically like it has been for the last month or so as we keep moving forward in the off season and working our way to training camp, and then eventually the preseason and then the regular season, baby. So other than that, guys, I appreciate it. Like I said, I love each and every one of y'all, and fins up. I'm out. Peace.